You guys see anything different with the skies today? Apparently the smoke looks like it's kind of going away. Even with the weather forecast, it says today it's just like sunny / cloudy or whatever, minus the smoke warnings. I guess the wind is blowing everything away. It's actually pretty windy right now, actually. At the same time, there's supposed to be rain tomorrow, so I guess that will help if it actually does come. Apparently today there's supposed to be like a meteor shower too, but people were concerned whether or not they can see it because of the smoke. It's supposed to happen later in the evening. I'm not sure if I can actually capture anything like that. I don't have that crazy of a DSLR camera with like telephoto lens or anything like that. At the same time, I don't think the Mavic is very good at capturing something that dark. I might check it out later tonight, but I'm not sure if I can actually capture anything because again, I don't really have the equipment to do that. There was some funky news about some drone landing on a military ship or something like that, which I'll talk about later. But the first thing that's interesting for today, which actually took a lot of my time, was with my Mavic Pro. For some reason, the gimbal is not starting up as normal. It basically says things like overheat, make sure the clamp is off and everything like that. So it made me wonder, hey, what's going on here? So like most people, when stuff like this happens, I try to troubleshoot it. I mean, it's something like really simple, like maybe there is like a little tiny particle or something like that lodged in or something got misplaced. Because I've heard for people that had troubles with that with the Mavic Pro where it doesn't start up or it starts overheating or shaking, that it just could be something is dislodged. But I tried almost everything and it didn't work. But I did try one thing that did work, which is kind of funny, so I thought I'd show you guys this. So first I'll show you a video of just the Mavic trying to start up, basically going through it twice, like without success. And then look what I did to make it work. So as you can see, basically when you try to start up the Mavic Pro here, it basically doesn't successfully go through the gimbal motion and all that in the beginning. It does it twice and it fails. So what I did was I actually turned the Mavic Pro upside down, and then on the third try, it successfully starts. And from there, you know, it works as normal. You can move like the gimbal and everything like that as if nothing happened. Funny enough, I got that idea because as I was researching for issues and people who experienced the same thing, there was one guy on like a forum who was expressing how he was so frustrated. Like that's the only thing that worked. I was like, really? So I turned it upside down and sure enough, it works like that. I don't know, is there any engineers that would know more precisely what's wrong? Because that should kind of narrow it down, I would assume in some ways, for people who know exactly like about that gimbal mechanic and all that. It's kind of weird where it only does it like, or successfully goes through the motion now if I turn it upside down for some reason. And again, it works 100% like that, 100% of the time. If I turn it upside down, it works perfectly. For the most part, I don't think this is normal, okay? So even if I could fly it still, like with the way it is by doing that, I don't think that's normal. Again, I can't explain it, so I contacted the DJI support. And I don't know what's gonna happen because as you guys know, I documented everything, like even before with the scratched battery and all that. For some reason it had that crack. And I'm gonna go through the same process, and I'm just imagining now, I gave them my description, I gave them the serial number, and I even attached to them the video, the exact one that you saw. So I'm hoping it won't be like the past, but if it is like the past, I'm expecting I'm gonna get a template response as my first reply. Like, please give us a video and all this, but we'll see if they improve. But I'm kind of curious to see what they say about this, or if there is an actual fix for this somehow. Worst case scenario, that could mean if I do have to send it back to them or something like that, I could be down the drone for like, what, 4 to 6 weeks, I'm assuming? Oh, that would kind of suck if that's the case. You know what that means then? That means one of you guys are gonna have to go out there and educate the public and all that to fly your drone to show them that it's not a military weapon and all that. Huh, what did this used to be? Really, it's a farmer's market here?
Walk past the lake for 10 bucks.
I don't even know what this is.
You don't need to know, just walk by and enjoy it.
Hilarious. I'm trying to get back into the lakeside, but apparently it's all closed off for this concert. And there's a guy trying to sell me tickets there. $45 tickets, you want to buy one, I'll sell it for $20. What is this? Okay, I guess I can take this path back in still, since there's a lot of public housing area and stuff here. Okay, hope you guys can hear me with that loud music playing in the background. But yeah, with the drone news and related to military, this was kind of interesting. It said there was a consumer drone that landed on the Queen Elizabeth. I guess it's like a military ship. Now, of course, this kind of sparked debate in the sense of, hey, how did this little like consumer drone get on like a military ship? What's going on? Like that questions of security and all that. Like it says here, there was no one about to prevent it from landing, although there were security police around in small boats who were waving at the drone. There was absolutely no one around when I landed. It was like a ghost ship, according to the drone flyer anyways. Now I would say for most flyers like myself, I would be like, what's wrong with you, buddy? Flying over like a military ship and all that? What are you trying to do? Like ruining it for the rest of us? And then basically he had his reasons here on why he landed there, I guess. He said he was getting high wind, a signal telling him to land. He said, I didn't really want to land it, but the wind was so strong. I didn't feel it would make it back, so I ignored the warning. I never expected to land on the deck. What? This guy was flying like a phantom to my knowledge. And then he goes on further to say, the pilot said his drone is equipped with anti-crash sensors and will automatically land itself if it is in danger. He said it would normally avoid steel structures, but the non-slip coating on the carrier flight deck allowed it to touch down. Now this is just my personal opinion, of course, but as a drone flyer and reading something like that saying equipped with anti-crash sensors and will automatically land itself if it is in danger, in my opinion, this guy is full of it anyways, especially if he's flying like a DJI product, like with a Phantom here to my understanding. I mean, to me, it just sounds something fishy about that. I mean, to further that point, it says he took a photograph and then took off again and managed to fly the drone back safely. Okay, you were so concerned about landing there that you had time to think and everything. Oh, let's take a photo. It's lovely. That seems like that was his intent, and for the most part, I would say. And if that doesn't take the cake, it even says here, he said he returned to the dock last week and took more aerial footage of the ship again, unchallenged. And to me, when I read things like that, it bothers me for two reasons. Because the first one is, I don't think he's telling the truth, like personally anyways, just based on what he wrote in terms of he flew there or it automatically landed itself. And to go back there the second time again, I mean, come on, man, that's a little bit stretching it. Like, I understand there's things like flyaways and stuff and things can happen, but it just sounds like, again, he intentionally wanted to do it in many ways, in my opinion. I mean, it's more likely, logically, that he saw something there saying, oh, wouldn't it be nice to get a shot there? So let's fly there. Hey, it's empty. Let me land and get a shot. And now because he wanted to show off to everyone, like I guess the shot or whatever, afterwards people would say, hey, why'd you do that? Like, it's bad. So he came up with this excuse. It makes me think how education works both ways there, like with the drones, because I know there's a lot of people that use it for fear reasons. Like they use the most ridiculous things saying that the drones are so dangerous in this way. And in this case too, I think it's bad as well. Like if people are using like stuff like that to the uneducated to try to justify stupid things like that, like it's just as bad in my opinion. So it works both ways on why education is good, I think. If that is the case too, where that guy's lying, like I think this is an example where a regulation for a person like that specifically, I mean that person should be punished individually. Like don't make it so generic and broad in the simplest way. Like again, like people flying here, open field or whatever, like have stuff that actually goes against people like that. What is this? Someone put in like a tent in the flying field here. Okay, somebody left their CD behind? What is this? Is that a game or is that an actual movie? Actually, I was thinking of two things actually when I was flying that, because with the gimbal, for the most part, I can still fly it, like even with that error again. For some reason, I have to turn it upside down for the thing to actually finish doing its rotation. But I noticed for the gimbal, normally like when I first got it, like the very first time, and for the most part, when you move the gimbal dial, like say, all the way up, it actually stops at like a certain point. I've noticed like now it actually goes a lot higher than normal. And I was actually able to replicate it. I guess I'll show it here. When I press up like too much, like again, normally it will stop, but it seems like it just keeps going. And so then it starts shaking like crazy when it gets to a certain point. Well, I guess I'll just have to wait and see what the response is. I don't think I'll get a response during the weekend. Another funny thing I was thinking too is because I literally bought the Mavic Pro like when it was very first announced, like in the conference. I pre-ordered it and everything like that. To me, it was like, hey, this is it. This is the perfect size and stuff for a person like me. Since it's almost been 1 year, it makes me wonder like, okay, is this expected? Like your Mavic starts degrading like during that time? Because I was thinking like in terms of manufacturer warranties, that's generally how they make it. Like that's the expected time where they expect the item or whatever to start degrading or getting worse. It made me think of like printer stories where like for printers, like right when it reaches the manufacturer's warranty, like for some people, poof, it just stopped working right away. Like it's not a coincidence. I know for me, I probably fly it more than the average person because again, like one of my goals in the beginning of the year was to learn how to fly a drone, to try to fly it every day. So aside from those days where we had the ridiculous interim laws where you had to be like 9 kilometers away from everything, I was flying at least like what, 20 minutes a day. So maybe that has to do with it too. I've just been flying it too much maybe and something wore out. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the response are, but I'm like a real life example of the product, real life usage to see how it actually is in reality, not just using it for 1 day and then doing a review, for example. And again, I probably won't get a response to them like this weekend since they don't usually work in weekends to my knowledge, but hopefully the response is good. I hope they don't give me the template response even though I gave them all the information that's necessary. Anyways, see you guys later.